Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. What's up? What's popping? Dumalang Lekai. This is another Generations the Legacy review of last night's episode. I'm going to be starting with the characters Luthando and Lucy. There was a scene where Luthando finally found where Lucy lived and she went there. So when Lucy opened the door, she got the shock of her life, which she never expected. And Luthando walked in. She just walked in and invited herself. Lucy was just not having it. She was like, "Stay away from me. I do not know what you want from me. Life has moved on. I'm now married. I have a husband." But Luthando was like, "I promise you that when I come from prison, I'm going to look for you, and I'm here." I don't know what is wrong with this girl. I just don't have a good feeling about her. We'll see what's going to happen on tonight's episode. Now, I would like to focus a bit on the characters, Uncle Kabisi and Chidi. So after the dinner they had with Mpo and the offer that Uncle Kabisi gave Mpo, Chidi was so grateful and she was really happy that Uncle Kabisi made Mpo part of the family, and she was really thankful for that. I think she's starting to fall in love with him, to be honest. The way she looked at him in that scene was just like beautiful. I think she's actually starting to fall for the guy, and it's nice that she's finally going to that place, because at first it was just for protection and saving her own back, but now she's actually trying to be part of the Moroccan family for the right reasons, which I think is a beautiful thing that she's now reaching that point. Going back to the characters Lucy and Luthando, there was a scene on last night's episode where Lucy bumped into Luthando at Mama Moka's while she was grabbing herself a cup of coffee. When she turned around and saw Luthando standing there, she was in little shock because she didn't expect her to be there. Since Luthando actually got a job offer from Gungani as a cleaner, which Lucy didn't know about. Lucy just thought that Luthando was trying to stalk her, which she's uncomfortable about, and I understand why. But we'll see what's gonna happen. Now let's talk about Majri and Chiri's scene at the office. So Majriso was talking to their biggest client at hashtag Israel when Majri walked in. So after that conversation was over, Majriso walked to Majri to ask him how he was doing. But this time she was being honest. She actually wanted to know how Mazu was feeling. She cared about his emotional well-being, but Mazu couldn't care less. He was just thinking that she was just asking for the wrong reason, which she was not actually doing. She actually cared about his mental well-being, but my guy was like, "You don't care. Do not ask about how I'm feeling because you don't care about me." But that's not the truth. But anyway, at least she's trying her best. Moving to the characters of Marexa and his wife, Lucy. There was a scene on last night's episode where Marexa was left home alone by Lucy because she went to get some groceries. As we all know, Marexa is currently recovering from a brain surgery that he had previously, and his memory is not fully there yet. So he was using the remote control and he didn't know how to use it. He can't remember how to use it. And he thinks that the television is now so fragile. If he breathes, it can crack and fall down. Like, he misses the old TV, which is like a brick wall on the wall. But anyway, besides that, it's good to see him back. I just hope that his memory will come back as soon as possible, because I can't deal with his new persona. Like, the way he speaks, he just sounds different. Anyways, let's talk about Chidi's visit to the Minister of Correctional Services. She wanted to talk about the condition of her brother in prison and his TB and how he's being treated while he's in prison. But the minister is not up for it. He doesn't want to know anything. He doesn't want to hear anything from Chidi or Chidi's family because of the history he has with Nunte, I believe. But Matsurisu is concerned about her brother. All she wants to know is what they're doing to protect him and making him feel better from his illness, which I don't think this minister has the right to ignore and pretend nothing is happening, because a lot is happening underneath all this mess and he's not dealing with it, to be honest. That's how I see it. Speaking of correctional services, I would like to focus a bit more on Palace's character. So she had another visit from her old friend Tracy, and it looks like Tracy is going through a lot because she is currently being abused by her sugar daddy, her blesser, who is sexually and emotionally abusing her, but she doesn't want to do anything about it. So Ballister tried to talk to her and make sure that she can realize that what is happening to her is not right and she needs to take control of her life and stop what this guy is doing to her. Is she going to ask for help? I honestly don't know, but I will see as the storyline goes along. Now, I would like to focus a bit more on the following characters: Nontle, Ayanda, Chidi, and Kunkane. So after Chidi had a conversation with the Correctional Services Minister, she went to Ayanda's apartment to give them the feedback that she got, and it wasn't good news. However, Kunkane offered to deal with him, but Siri mentioned that that won't help because he's stubborn and he's made up his mind. On the other hand, Nuntle feels responsible for her dad's situation because the minister does not want to help her dad because of what she has been doing to him in the press. Going back to the characters Maraxa and Majwi, Lucy told her husband Maraxa that he is in business with Mazi Moroka, and that came as a total surprise to him because he actually can't remember that he owns the bar with him because of his memory loss. However, they decided to go out for beer and catch up, which I think that was such a wonderful scene, to be honest, because Moroxa is going through a lot. He's trying to digest a whole new world and still trying to remember the old one. So it was great that they had that moment together to catch up and reacquaint themselves again. Going back to Chidi's character, she decided to go and visit her mom to tell her about Dawo's condition, how bad it was. However, that conversation changed to them talking about her relationship with Uncle Kabisi and how happy she's been since getting married to him. Chidi even mentioned that she is more happier than she was when she was married to Kunkane. She compared her relationship with Kunkani as an inferno, a fire, a wildfire that was out of control. But her relationship with Uncle Kabisi is much more calmer, much more relaxed, and the flame is much more simple compared to her and Kunkani's marriage, which I think is such a beautiful way to explain how much she has grown into the woman she is when she's with Uncle Kabisi. Going back to Luthando's character, she stole Murata's keys and broke into the apartment. And she started smelling Lucy's clothes and touching the belongings. I honestly think she's obsessed about Lucy. Like the way she acts, it's scary. I actually think she's going crazy. She's obsessed, and it scares me because Murata is not in his right frame of mind right now, and that puts him in danger. So Lucy has to handle Luthando before this whole situation gets out of control. I would like to talk about Kunkani's character and Nayanda's character. They decided to visit the minister after Chidi had a failed attempt to talk to him. So they went there and spoke to him. But the Minister of Correctional Services couldn't care less about Dao's condition in prison because of what his daughter has put him through, which I think is unprofessional of him to do. He needs to take care of the prisoners. That's his job. And for him to ignore that because of what a child has said about him in the papers, that's being unprofessional. That's being careless about his job. Then why are you in that position if you're not going to use it? Lastly, Morexa went out for drinks with Mazwi and they had the fun time out there until Morexa came home drunk as a horse. Like he could not even walk. Lucy had to carry his heavy ass to the couch and he literally fell asleep on the couch before going back to bed, and Lucy had to bring a blanket for him to keep him warm, which I think that was the most sweetest part of that scene, to be honest. It just shows how much Lucy loves Maraxa to bits. I mean, these two characters are just made for each other. That's it for today. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share if you want. Peace. I'm out.